We're chatting here with Pastor Peter de Jesus. How are you, Pastor? Thank you for welcoming us to this event for Christians United for Israel. This was your first bilingual event to honor Israel with the Latino community. You had members of the Jewish community here. You had the representative of the Israeli consulate. Why does the Latino community here in LA have so much passion and love for Israel? Where does this come from?
Well, first off, Karmel, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to come and share with you on this interview. And thank you and your father for coming and being with us tonight on this, what we call Christians United for Israel Night to Honor Israel. And we did it with the efforts of our Hispanic outreach efforts that we lead throughout the nation. When it comes to Los Angeles, we realized that the LA area is so influential, and we wanted to make sure that we had a special night, a bilingual night, English and Spanish, where Christians and Jews could come together. And not only Jews from the Jewish community, but even leadership from the Israeli General Consulate's office here in LA, as well as representation from the Jewish Federation. And so why is this so important for us as Hispanic evangelicals? Well, first and foremost is because we're evangelicals. We understand that as Christians, the root system of our Christian faith comes from Judaism. We understand that as Christians, the Bible that we consider to be sacred and infallible and inerrant, without error, although it was inspired by God, it was written by approximately 40 authors, and they were all Jews. The patriarchs, all Jews. The prophets, all Jews. The psalmists, all Jews. We step into the New Testament, the disciples that Jesus Christ handpicked, they were all Jews. The apostles of the primitive church, they were all Jews. Jesus himself, a Jew, born in Bethlehem, raised in Nazareth, of Galilee, of Israel. And according to the Christian faith, we believe he's coming back to Israel because he was a Jew, he is a Jew, he still will forever be a Jew. So for us as evangelicals, we cannot have Christianity without recognizing the important root system that Israel is, that Judaism is, and that the Jewish people are. Now, when it comes to Hispanics, we as Hispanics, our descendants, regardless whether it's Central America, South American, or even Caribbean or North American, it all trails back to Spain. And we know the history. Especially when we consider the 1400s, especially the latter 1400s and the Spanish Inquisition. And the real reasons for that Inquisition being done, that unfortunately was because it was persecution against the Jews, to the point of not only trying to forcefully convert them to the Catholic Christian religion, but also mistreat them even to the point of murder and so forth. We as Hispanics, our roots go all the way back to that era, and even beyond that, that then directly or indirectly connects to the Jewish people. So as Hispanics, we're connected to the Jewish people, the Sephardic Jews. And then as evangelicals, we're connected to the Jewish people because our Christian faith is connected to the Jewish faith.
As you know, the Jewish community here in LA within the last month, within the last week, has encountered some very hateful anti-Semitic attacks. There are a couple of Jewish gentlemen that were almost run over by a guy in a car.
Yes.
What message are you hoping to send the Jewish community, you guys as in CUFI, as in the Christian Zionist community, by doing this event, specifically here in LA during this time?
Absolutely. Great question. And it's horrific to hear about these anti-Semitic attacks, especially the one that you mentioned, someone trying to run over Jews as they were walking during their Sabbath from their synagogue. We want the Jewish community to know that Christians United for Israel is not only waking up, rising up, and speaking up, but we're lifting up the Jewish community in our prayers, in also our advocacy in government, in speaking to elected officials at city level, state levels, and at the national level as to why it's important for us to make sure that we continue to pass legislation that is favorable to Israel, to the Jewish community, and letting them know, Israel and the Jewish community know, that they will never be If they've ever felt alone in the past, understandably so, because so many nations turned their backs on them, even the own Christian community, unfortunately. But now we want them to know this nation is going to continue being the number one ally of Israel. And the Christian evangelicals in this nation, we're going to make sure that we do everything within our power and influence to motivate our body of Christ here in our nation to stand with Israel and let them know they will never be alone again. Never again.
Thank you. Thanks for chatting with us.
You're welcome. Thank you for being